You could be a person just trying to figure life out. You could be a person struggling right now. You can get in this business. Even with no credit, no money, you can start co-hosting.
Challenge yourself to be able to over-deliver every single time.
It takes us less than 10 minutes a day to run our business. If it takes you more than 20 minutes a day to do this, you're doing it wrong.
Holy shit, I just had a freaking revelation just now.
No,
That's crazy. Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Convos with Bishop. My name is Bishop. As I always say, it's a great day to have a great day. And listen, man, I got New York's finest in the building, man. Finally, it took so long for us to actually get connected, you know what I'm saying? Mr. J. Dinkins, man, how you doing, sir?
I'm very well, man. Everything's wealthy.
Yeah, man.
Everything's wealthy.
So from a scale of 1 to 10, you cannot use 7. How you feeling right now?
I'm feeling 10. Bro.
Okay.
I'm feeling 10 because I got some goals I'm really excited about. And I love when I feel, and I get this certain feeling that I'm about to go into like a new level, and it's like, it's kind of like challenging me. And I'm really excited, bro, about going into this year. I know a lot of times people like, you know, that new year, new me, whatever. But like, I really feel there are certain things that I've been preparing for, and I'm entering this season. I'm excited about that. So, man, I'm feeling on 10.
Yeah.
Sure.
So with you, man, you know, I've been following you for a little bit. And, you know, obviously, you know, you're the Airbnb arbitrage king. Everybody knows you as. But for what I know you as far, you know, what I know you as is a person who is a hustler, who is a go-getter, a person who actually figures it out. And you really show that, like, through your content as far as, like, really, like, you know, loving on the people, just, you know, giving that game. Other than for you to be from the boogie down, like, where – other than that, like, where does that hustle and where does that drive come from?
Man, it just comes from really watching my, you know, the way I grew up. You know, I am from the Bronx, but my family, we started out, you know, in the Soundview section of the Bronx. And I remember, you know, growing up, my mother and father, we lived in a 1-bedroom apartment. And in this 1-bedroom apartment, my mother and father stayed in the bedroom, but us, the kids, we had a whole bunch of, like, military cots lined up in the living room and one bunk bed. And my uncle who was staying with us, he stayed in a bunk bed. And we all stayed on these cots. So, I mean, I just really come from poverty and just watching my family struggle. And I just, you know, I've always said, man, I know my life is not going to be like this. I've always had that. And even from there, we moved from the Soundview section of the Bronx to Washington Avenue, which is the projects, you know, to Washington Avenue and Webster projects. And once again, I'm in this environment. I'm like, man, this is not what life is supposed to be like. So I always knew that that I was going to figure something out. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew I was going to figure something out.
Yeah, definitely. With a lot of people, when they're actually going through that and they're in that environment, you know, I'll say maybe 9 out of 10 of them would not necessarily have that mindset to be able to want something different.
Right.
They just want to be able to actually have that same environment because that's all they know. Absolutely. So, like, what examples did you have that, you know, there was actually, you know, like a light at the end of the tunnel? You know what I'm saying? Right.
So for me, I was, you know, going through the motions, and, you know, once I remember playing football in a yard in elementary school, and a guy asked me, he said, "Hey, man, you want to play some football? Like, you want to play some real football?" And he said, "Well, you got to ask your parents." And I ended up having a conversation with my mother, and I got introduced to the Boys and Girls Club. And going to the Boys and Girls Club, I started playing football. Then at the age of 11, I started playing basketball. And it was there where I started to learn, like, there was more. Like, they were telling me, like, man, you could actually be good at sports. And they had some connections, hooked me up, where I ended up going to Catholic school. And when I went to Catholic school, Cardinal Hayes in the Bronx, it really started to shape me and like, I knew, like, I just felt like I deserved more, and I knew I could possibly be a lot more than my circumstances. Here I am going to Catholic school, you know, one of the best Catholic schools in the Bronx, and then I'm going back to the project. So, you know, for me, I think going to Cardinal Hayes and going to this Catholic high school instead of going to the traditional public school, right, which started for me just being at the Boys and Girls Club. Like, if I hadn't started going to the Boys and Girls Club, I would have never had the opportunity to go to Catholic school. I would have went to the local, you know, high school or whatever the case is. But, you know, that's when I started taking sports seriously. I started taking my academics seriously. I started taking my future seriously. So it all really stemmed from there. I mean, you know, like I said, just being introduced to the Boys and Girls Club and somebody seeing me and saying, man, you should play some football. And then led over to basketball, I think that's what really started to change my mindset, especially with the environment that I was living in.
Yeah, a lot of people actually have different mindsets when it comes to like public school versus like, you know, Catholic
Yeah.
school. Like, what do you think was like the biggest difference, you know, going to a Catholic school versus going to a public school? Discipline, that's what it is? Okay.
Discipline. Yeah, so, you know, going there, first of all, it was an all-boys school.
Okay, got it.
Right, so there was no girls to distract
no distraction,
you,
no, yep,
right?
stay focused,
And it was just very strict, very disciplined. I mean, literally the first day, bro, I go to school, I have constructs on, I got my khakis, I got the shirt, I got constructs. Literally the first day, my mother walked me in, and the dean stops me. You can't come in. You can't wear those.
Holy shit.
So I have to turn around. My mom, we go, so this is in the Bronx on the concourse. We go to 3rd Avenue, which is a few blocks away. We go to Payless shoe store. The Payless. I don't know if everybody knows Payless.
Oh, yeah, but I remember Payless.
So we go to Payless, bro, and I wear size 12. And they didn't have no size 12 shoes. I needed some shoes. So they had a size 11, and I told my mother it fit. And my feet hurt so bad, but I knew my mother couldn't really afford it.
Yeah, of course.
To this day, like until she watches, she'll never. I've never shared this story. And I remember buying these 11 shoes so I can go to class and like squeezing my toes into these shoes. So every day I would wear my construction boots that she paid a lot of money for.
Of course.
And then I would just have my Payless shoes in the bag. And as soon as I got to the block before, I would squeeze my foot, and then for the rest of the day, I would just walk, and my feet would hurt the entire day for my whole freshman year. But I never told my mom because I knew she was just trying as hard as she could. So, you know, like just there, like, hey, you got to wear certain things. You got to wear your hair a certain way. You got to look a certain way. You can't be sloppy. You got to walk a certain way. You have to talk a certain way. You have to respond a certain way. I just started getting that discipline instilled in me. So that's the biggest difference, because my junior high school that I went to across the street from the projects I grew up in was like one of the worst, like the top 3 worst junior high schools in the Bronx. So,
as far as what? As far as education, like, as far as just like programming?
Oh, education was okay, but I mean, the violence in there was, I mean, you would see students fighting teachers all the time, like riots, people getting jumped all the time.
What year is this?
So like 1998. Is when I graduated. So that, damn, y'all want to know my age? It's crazy.
my bad. We want to.
So I'm in 8th grade in 1998, 7th grade 1997. Okay. Right. So this is around that time. Like so like freaking 1996, 1997, 1998. I went to 148. That's the school. It's called 148. 148. Okay. I'm on 169th and 3rd Avenue. One of the worst schools in the Bronx. It was horrible. Horrible. So coming from that, going to a Catholic school, because I played at the Boys and Girls Club, because I didn't know anything. I would have went to my regular zone school, right? But because I played sports through the Boys and Girls Club, I got introduced to Catholic school, which I didn't even know about Catholic school. But that really started the shaping of the man I became.
And the good thing is too is that you were able to actually get both type of like experiences, as far as from the middle school, you know what I'm saying, like the hood area, as far as like just really kind of like constructing you, versus also going to Catholic school, as far as like maybe like sharpening the iron a little bit, and kind of like really
there's a lot of benefits of growing up in the hood, becoming like just aware, even like just my mental toughness and toughness on the court, playing in the projects, man. I had guys that would be on me because it's like when they start to see you, like, man, you about to be the dude that make it from the hood, so. And
you probably playing grown ass men too, right?
Yeah. And they supported me, and I think that's one of the reasons I survived, because like my neighborhood was really, really big on violence, but I was always the basketball player.
I got you.
Hey, so they used to call me the believer. They used to be like, hey, don't mess with believer. Believer good. It's like, so I got to do things that most people couldn't do in my neighborhood just because I played basketball. You know what I'm saying? So, but it definitely was, man. I learned a lot like growing up and got exposed to a lot via, the neighborhood that I grew up in, the environment I in, even before that, just growing up in a 1-bedroom apartment, and then, going to Catholic school, and then just kind of, and then even going to college, bro. When I got a scholarship, those summers I would be in a university in Maryland, and then coming back to the projects.
Okay. you played for the Terrapins?
No, I played for UMBC.
Okay.
So they was in the American East Conference, Division One, but in the American East Conference. Yeah.
I got you. Yeah. Okay. All right, cool. So, when was the moment that you actually had, like the entrepreneurial starts? You know, like when did that happen?
So when I graduated college, I started working, right? I actually stopped playing basketball. I was doing social work for a company called New York City Children's Services. I always loved working with people, so I did that. I also worked at the YMCA. Did it for 7 years, and I was broke, bro. I was living check to check. Every single month, I had more month left at the end of my money. Like, I got to the 15th of the month. I don't know where the money coming from. I'm like, I got to figure this out. And one of my friends, he invited me to a gathering. So I'm thinking I'm going to hang out, have some drinks, you know, have a good time. I walk in, it's a network marketing presentation. Bro, I tried to walk out. But I stayed. But it was the best thing I ever did.
Which one was it?
So World Ventures. You should be here.
Okay.
You should be here. Like, we hold that sign everywhere. Even the places where I'm in the projects talking about, you should be here. Why should I be in the projects? Right?
Yeah, facts.
But that was my first time being exposed to something outside of working a job. Like, I had just been working a job for 7 years. And I'm talking about graduated college, working jobs, broke. And I'm like, how is people living this life? So when they introduced me to network marketing, although people were like, this is scams, this is a pyramid scheme, I'm like, damn, this might be my way out.
Yeah.
I just needed something, bro. I didn't really care what it was. I just knew. I was smart enough to know. I said, the job ain't gonna give me the life that I'm personally looking for.
Yeah.
And so I got involved in network marketing in 2013. And anything that I do, bro, I go super hard at it. Like, I can't just be a part of something. Like, I have to dominate it. I have to be at the top. Like, I want to be one of the ones in anything that I do. So I was going hard. Within 2 years, I was making more money doing network marketing than I was on my job. So I left the jobs. I said, hey, I'm going full time. I went all in. And that was going well until about 2017, 2018. The company started facing some financial troubles. By the time 2020, the pandemic hit. There was a travel company.
Yeah.
Travels out.
It's done.
I literally go from making over $90,000 a year to making zero overnight, bro. And I remember one of the moments that replays in my head is going into my kid's bathroom. I didn't want to go in my bathroom at the time because I didn't want my wife to hear me. But I remember going into my kid's bathroom, looking into the mirror, literally crying, bro, because I'm like, damn, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do. It's 2020. I gave everything to this company.
Yeah.
I left my jobs. I went super hard. I got to like 90,000 a year. I thought I was going to keep elevating and hit the top of the company, and here I am starting from zero again. And I'm like, man, you know, like,
you married with kids?
No, I'm not even married. At this time.
But you got kids. You got
two kids.
You know,
like, and I'm just
got
like
a partner and everything.
And it's like I got bills to pay. I can't get a job if I want to, bro. The pandemic is here. Like,
was there a moment, real quick? Was there a moment where like you actually had to share those like trouble moments like with your partner, or you just kind of just figured everything out on your own?
Yeah, I did. I would say both. You know, another moment, you know, outside of that is, you know, there was one time during the same period where my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, my daughter, my brother, and my mother is in my car. And I literally get out the car to go put gas in and I got $5 in change on my credit card. And I'm just praying that sucker goes over. Like, I put the credit card in. I'm like, yo, just please let me just let this go.
Yeah.
I'm like, $4.
One time, man, just please just let it go.
Come on, $6. Let's go. Let's go. 7, 8.
Yeah.
9. But I filled that sucker up, bro. If I had a container, I went negative.
Yeah.
Bro. So like those are like, that's just one of the many moments that I hit because I was the person that was supposed to provide. I was the person that's supposed to protect. My kids looked at me as a superhero. Like, when I was in network marketing, I became, you know, I was speaking, I was doing these trainings, and I was one of the big dogs.
Yeah.
So it was just like to go from being a superhero to like literally like I don't even know where the next meal is gonna come from was crazy. So there's a lot of moments that I hid, but sometimes I had to share. You know, even to the point where I had to talk to my landlord and be like, hey, man, like, I just need an extension. I can't pay this. I can't pay this rent right now, you know? So, you know, it was both. But there was a lot of moments that went unknown from my kids, my wife, my moms, you know, because it's just like almost an embarrassment too. You know, like when you are looked at the person that's, you know, it's like I've always been looked at the person that was going to take the family out, and then some bullshit always happened to knock me back, bro. And it's like whether it was playing ball, then it was like working the jobs, then it's like network marketing. So I'm not a stranger to starting over. Yeah, you know, and starting back. So in 2020, bro, I'm back at ground zero.
Yeah, and listen, the one thing too is that Well, we're here now, but I kind of wanted to be able to highlight this, man. I think with you, one of the things I love about like your marriage and like what you got going on is that you have a supportive partner. I think one of the things you had is when she built out the studio for you. You know what I'm saying? That was fire. I was like, oh my God, like, you know, you don't really see that too often. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think it's really great. I just want to be able to highlight your covenant because she really believed in you. And also too, it seems like even though you wanted to be a man and to be able to kind of like hold it down, it seemed like she still was able to like really, really create that safe space for you, for y'all to build, because most men don't necessarily have that. They have to be basically like suffer in silence. You know what I'm saying?
But I believe that is because most people think a thriving relationship is the exact opposite of what everybody thinks.
Okay.
You see, a man may go on thinking like, man, you know, you don't make me happy. You don't bring nothing to the table. I'm doing all this. I'm doing that. And having a thriving relationship is getting to a point where you realize your happiness comes from making your partner happy.
Got you.
And I started to realize that when, you know, before it would be more of like, damn, you don't make me happy, or you don't do this for me. But when I started to take it off of me and I said, you know what, I'm going to do everything in my power to make you happy. I'm not going to worry about my happiness right now. When I started to make her happy, I started to become very happy. Okay. And I started to thrive. Why? Because if your partner, whether it's a man or a woman, has no stress, if they have nothing to worry about, and that's what I believe, bro. Men, y'all, I mean, whatever, y'all could be mad at me, or I just think as a woman, if you're in a relationship, a woman has to have a soft life. That's just for me. Like, if you make
you have to
that
be able to create that environment for them.
Right. Now, and to whatever your ability is, like, you should work as hard as you can to make your partner's life as easy as possible, especially if your partner becomes a wife or your partner becomes a husband, right? Gotcha. So now what happens is this. If you don't have nothing to worry about, you don't have to worry about the bills, you don't have to worry about any stress, you don't have to worry about nothing. Now, guess what? Your whole focus is on your family, your husband. Now she gets to see things that I can't see. Okay. Now she gets to pay attention in areas that I don't pay attention to. Example, right? Before she built out the office, what people don't know is in our last townhouse that we had, right, I would complain about my back all the time because I was doing these meetings. Like, I would literally I could sit in the office for 24 hours, right? And one day I came home and I had this desk. I had these 2 monitors and the desk raised, like it rose up. And she said, you always complain about your back. That's because you sit down all the time. I see you sit down. I see you doing this. You're always hunched over, whatever. You need to stand up sometime. So I came home and she surprised me with a desk that raised up. So
look at God.
So you know what I'm saying? So the whole point is she gets to pay attention to everything I need. I'll give you another recent example. I have mentioned several times that I wanted to do this 75 hard challenge. Never had a conversation with her about it. But I just kept saying it because I'm like, man, I'm in a season where, you know, I feel like there's one area in my life I want to tackle, which is health and fitness. Also, there's a discipline aspect to it. And I said, man, I'm ready for that season. Got you. And I was having these conversations. All she had to do was hear it. I come home one day and in my office, there's a whole 75 hard board. I didn't post it yet. And it has the whole 75 days. It has the, like exactly what you have to do, like the rules of the thing. It has it and everything that I need. So the whole point is, because I make her life as easy as possible, she gets to pay attention to the things that I need. She gets to hear what I don't say. She gets to see what I don't show her. Right? I may not outward tell her this is happening to me, but she get to see that shit. She get to pay, because she gets to pay attention to that. So now, guess what? I get the top treatment. My kids are gonna get the top treatment. Why? She don't have any worries. So I think the secret, especially for men, it could be for women too, but especially for men, the secret to men's success, if you have, now you gotta make sure this woman is qualified. If you have a qualified woman, if you make her life easy, bro, she gonna make you the most successful person, bro. Like, it is a direct correlation to my success.
So what do you say about men who feel like when they pour into their woman, they pour into their wife, that they don't necessarily get anything in return because maybe that spouse could be like either selfish or really kind of like, you know, worrying about themselves? Like, what do you say to the men that say that?
Well, it could be 2 people's fault. Now, I'm about taking accountability, because here's the problem a lot of times in relationships, right? We speak to people from the perspective that we want to speak in. we don't speak to people from the perspective that they are open to hearing in. Let me make that make sense. I hate flowers with a passion.
Okay.
If I buy flowers, I spend $200 on flowers. 2 minutes later, they're dead. I'm like, damn, I spent $200 on flowers.
Yeah.
But I had to understand that me giving my wife flowers is not about how I feel about the flowers. It's about how she feels when she receives the flower. So sometimes men, right, you may be pouring into a woman in the way that you want to pour into her, not the way that she wants you to be, not the way that she wants you to pour into her. So when you understand, that's all about communication. When you understand, see, for me, the reason I started thriving in my relationship, I started thriving with my kids, I started thriving in my business, is because I no longer speak to people in the language I want to speak to. I speak to you in the language that you are open to receiving. So it makes my communication a lot better. So now when people communicate, they know, one, I pay attention, they know I listen, and I'm saying things in a way that you can receive it.
Yeah. Most
people, they can't receive it. So if example, right? Let's say if I get money, I buy you everything, bro. She don't need you to buy everything, she just wants you to take her to the park and sit down and give her your time instead of being on your cell phone, right? You see what I'm saying? So, but I do everything for her, man, but that's not what she needs.
Yeah, and also too, this is actually very, very fascinating because I think what happens is a lot of men, because they're entrepreneurs or like they're business owners or even if they're workers, they're just giving so much, but they think they're actually giving from a selfless standpoint, but it's actually very, very selfish because it's the way that you want to do it and not how your woman receives it.
Exactly.
Holy shit. I just had a friggin' a revelation just now. That's crazy.
Now, here's the crazy thing. We hear these statements like, how you do anything is how you do everything. When you start doing that in your home, and you start seeing the results that you get, you start doing that in every other area in your life. So now when I start doing that and I naturally start doing that in business, I'm like, damn, this is crazy. Like people who join my community, bro, and I teach people how to start like in Airbnb. Bro, they love, like when I tell you they love, like, bro, sometimes I have to, it's almost overwhelming sometimes. Like when I get the stories like, Meryl, you changed my life. And it's like, I gotta stop and because I'm always on go, but I gotta be like, damn, like I'm really helping people. You know what I'm saying? And that's the goal.
You gotta receive your own flowers sometimes.
Yeah, but sometimes because we always so like to me, like we're just working. Like we're just doing what we're supposed to do. And for me, I feel like I'm just doing what God called me to do personally. So, but sometimes I gotta stop. Like I started forcing myself to stop and say, bro, like you really are helping people. You're really one of the ones that's out here really caring about the results that people get, because I don't care if they invest 500 or 5,000, bro, that is their hard money. And people are really there. Some people are taking their last 500 to try to make something happen with their lives. And I understand that because I've been there. I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like to be in a gas station with $5 on a credit card, trying to figure out and just hoping that I could find a coach, a video, a program, a YouTube, or something, bro, whatever to change my life. And, like, so for me, sometimes it's still a little weird, bro. Like, bro, everywhere I go, people stop me and be like, yo, what's up, JD? You did this. And one dude, bro, this is one of the weirdest encounters I've had since I started this process is I was walking somewhere and a dude, like, kind of like walks almost like walking by me, and he stopped me. He just whispered in my ear, crazy, right?
kind of crazy.
Man, Diddy,
no Diddy, no Diddy up in here.
Nah, but he literally he goes, bro, thanks for.
You gotta be tall though if he's able to whisper in your ear.
Like he literally said, bro, he literally tapped me on the shoulder and said, bro, thanks for changing my life, and just kept walking.
Holy shit!
And I'm just like,
he ain't had to whisper it though.
Yeah, he sure didn't, bro. But thanks for changing my life, Daddy.
Hey, yo, wait a minute.
Boy, no Diddy.
Hey, this interview's going a little bit too crazy right now.
That boy was sent by Diddy. It's
crazy.
Man, shit.
But the great thing is, even though pause, it just shows you like how many people you definitely changing with like this process and what you're doing and all that. And I think it's really great too because you are really, really in this space that everybody thinks is super, super saturated, but you're able to break into that market. So let's talk about that real quick as far as like how you were able to actually break into the Airbnb arbitrage industry?
For me, talking about me doing it or
Yes.
teaching it?
No, let's go over you doing it first.
Okay.
Yeah.
So from me doing it, bro, I didn't know anything about Airbnb arbitrage so I had a conversation. So when I talk about the time when I was at my, in my kid's bathroom crying, right? One of the smartest things I did was I reached out to one of my friends. He was an entrepreneur. He was doing a bunch of different things, but I knew he was successful. And I reached out to him and I said, bro, like, I need your help. I don't want any money. I'm not looking for a handout. I just need a hand up. I just need you to point me in the right direction. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what's next for me, but I need to do something. And he starts telling about all these businesses, bro. He's like, how he had a ice cream truck business, how he had a car business, how he sold toilets on Amazon. I'm like, shit, I'm about to be toilet man. Toilet man, yeah, that's me. I'm about to be selling toilets, bro. I just need to figure something out.
Figure it out.
But bro, we had a conversation outside of the airport in LA. We just literally walking. We supposed to have been left, but we just walking outside of the LA airport. And he goes, you ever thought about doing Airbnb? And I go, nope. He said, here's two things I like about Airbnb. With Airbnb, you do not have to own a property to list and make money. I had no idea. Like, I thought everybody who had Airbnbs, I thought they owned the house.
Own the properties,
and I also never knew that you could do Airbnbs in apartments, because every Airbnb I've ever stayed in was when I was in network marketing. A bunch of us would get together and rent like a 5-bedroom house, a 7-bedroom house. I've never even knew about apartments on Airbnb. The second thing he said to me was, with Airbnb, you can start at low cost and get into profit immediately. When he said that, all I heard was immediately. Bro, I didn't have no money coming in. I needed something that could happen fast.
Right now.
So I didn't have to own a property. I could start immediately. So right there, I ended up, having this conversation with my wife. She ended up purchasing a course for us. One of my boys that I knew, I was on the phone with him, and while I was on the phone with him, she purchased the course. And when she purchased the course, one day at around midnight, right before the new year, so right around this time, I ended up watching this 1-hour video. And it inspired me in two ways. I watched this 1-hour training on doing Airbnb. And I said, I can do this.
Yeah.
I'm like, I already know how to rent an apartment, bro. I've done that already. I just rented to live in it. I said, you just rent an apartment and get permission to put it on Airbnb? Yeah. I can do that.
Yeah.
So this 1-hour video inspired me in one way, because it was like, it showed me it was so simple to do. And I said, okay, cool. I can do that. But the other thing that inspired me is when I watched this 1-hour video, I said, this is literally a Zoom recording. He didn't even show his face. And people are buying this 1-hour video. And I said, from that point, I said, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get Airbnb, and my goal is to create stories as fast as I can. Success stories. I went out and got an Airbnb in this amount of time. I made $1,000 in this amount of time. I was able to get my first 3 units in this amount of time. So I started documenting my process right from the beginning, because I said, bro, if he can make this video for 1 hour, eventually when I get the results, because it was important for me to get the results.
Yeah.
I said, when I get the results, if I have the story, I can create my own program and I can teach the same exact thing. So I said, hey, as long as I have the success, I'm going to document the process. And if this works, and I have the success, I'm going to teach it to all my people. Yeah. Because I've been searching for a way for years, trying to figure out. I've done network marketing. I've done party promoting. I work jobs. I've been trying to figure out a way. So when I find it, I'm going to share it with my people. Yeah. And that's how I literally started in the Airbnb process. We actually ended up renting our first 2 apartments in Nashville. Nice. And when we put it on Airbnb at the time, a lot of people was doing it in Atlanta, and they were making about like $1,000 a month in profit. Their rent was like $1,250. My rent was like almost $2,000 a month, but we were making like $3,500 a month in profit.
Just off that one bedroom.
Yeah, per bedroom.
Per bed. Damn.
No, excuse me. Per 1 bedroom. Like there was like in the high season, like we had months where we made $3,500 in profit, and low season making $1,400-$1,500 in profit, and we was like, oh, this is a lot bigger than what we thought it was. Yeah. And from there, I just started going crazy. I'm like, well, shoot, with 2 units, if I'm making anywhere from $3,000 to $6,000 a month with 2, why don't I go get 2 more? Yeah. Then why don't I go get 2 more? Then I start getting 3 more, then 4 more. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I got into it. And it's not as hard as people think, bro. It's literally the game has changed for sure now. But at that time, you could just call the building up, speak to a property manager, and just say, hey, you know, do you allow corporate leasing? Or just tell them like something simple like, hey, I have a company who provide housing to business professionals who travel for work. Do you guys allow that? Like simple stuff, bro.
Yeah.
And you'll get a lot of no's, but you'll get a few yeses. But all you need is a few yeses.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, when it actually sounds too good to be true, I mean, sometimes it is. Like, it really is not. It's just, it sounds so simple because it is. And I think that's what a lot of people get really mixed up on, especially with Airbnb. It's like, wait a minute, like, I can literally just do this and actually be able to make this money so simple. Yeah. So what was the, you said like things has changed. So from the first time you actually started to now, like what has changed in the space of Airbnb?
So the biggest thing that changed is that back then, especially during the pandemic, a lot of people were doing Airbnb illegally.
Okay.
So they would just go rent an apartment, put it on Airbnb, don't get anybody permission. Like, so you guys know you have to get permission. You cannot just go rent a house and just say, I'm gonna put it on Airbnb. You cannot go rent an apartment and just say, hey, I'm gonna put it on Airbnb. You have to get permission from the property to do it, right? So most leases, they're gonna say, you cannot sublet, you cannot do short-term rental, you cannot do Airbnb, but there's a few words right after that statement that says, unless given written permission.
Got you.
So we always look for written permission.
Written permission.
So all I do is call,
thing.
right?
Yeah.
So back then we would call and we would be able to get these Airbnbs, but there was a lot of people that was not doing that. So a lot of these buildings started to get fed up. And then now what started to happen is they started to get all these restrictions. And here's what happened. A lot of these buildings all over the country started to actually partner with Airbnb. So now if I go rent an apartment in this building and I go try to list it on Airbnb, you'll get a message that says, this is a Airbnb partnered building. This, in order for this listing to go live, it has to be approved by the building.
Got you.
So now you can't just sneak and get a unit. So now what people say, oh, Airbnb is dead, you can't do it. No.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you too, because that's how I've been hearing literally for the past 4 or 5 months.
It's not, bro.
But you killing it right now anyway. So how is it not? How is it dead?
Yeah, it's not dead. Listen, we live in a world where the only thing constant is change. You got to even adapt to the change or you're going to fall behind. So I was smart enough to see the pattern of how all these buildings were partnered with Airbnb. The problem with the Airbnb partnered buildings is they charge a percentage, number one. So you have to pay the building. So the building's like, hey, listen, we're going to let you do Airbnb, but you got to kick us something back. And it's usually between 10 to 25%. So some people say, I'm not paying the building. I'm not doing that. I'm not getting the building 25%. I'm like, shoot, if I'm going to make money, I don't mind. Yeah. You're going to make my life. So you tell me I could do Airbnb. I don't have to sneak and do it. And I just got to give you a percentage. As long as I run my numbers and make sure that I'm going to still be profitable after paying you, I don't care. See, some people would rather have 100% of $1 than 50% of $5. Yeah, I'm okay. Like all right,
let's
cool.
all make money together.
Right. Yeah. I don't mind paying the building a percentage if it gives me an opportunity to make money. Okay. So now what happens is you got all these Airbnb friendly buildings all around the country, bro. Like they're everywhere. And I started leveraging these buildings because I don't mind paying a percentage. Plus, also, most of these buildings have a restriction on the amount of nights that you can have your unit booked on Airbnb. So some is like, you can only do Airbnb for 90 nights for the year. So people look at it and be like, I'm not doing that, right? Like, that don't make sense. I can only do Airbnb for 90 nights. So they say, I'm not doing Airbnb. Airbnb is dead. But there's other buildings that allow 210 nights. There's other buildings that don't have any restrictions. They just don't know it. Yeah. But see, when you get connected with somebody like me who knows these different things, it makes the process easier. So what I started to do is I just adapted and I started teaching my students. One of the things that I did is I started teaching my students how to leverage buildings that actually partner with Airbnb. Yeah. So it makes their life so much easier.
Yeah. So like they're basically doing all the fulfillment, and all you got to do is just literally just
you just rent the apartment.
That's it.
So now Airbnb friendly buildings, I don't need to call the building and be nervous and give them a script and hope they say yes. If you go in an Airbnb friendly building, if they allow Airbnb, you just fill out an application like any other apartment. Once you get approved, you fill out what they call like for the home sharing permit. Yeah. And then that just gives, them the right to take their percentage out. And then that's it. And then you put furniture in it, you list it on Airbnb, the building's going to approve it because you got approved for the apartment. And then you start making money.
That's it.
Yeah. Pretty simple. So the thing is, I get it though. There are so many people who did it wrong and messed up for the few people who were doing it right.
Yeah, facts.
But you just got to understand, in this world, is things are always changing. We remember, where I grew up, you know, there was a time where the internet started to come around, and it was like, oh shoot, I remember the time when freaking they introduced the iPhone and it had no buttons, and I was like, we ain't gonna.
Yeah.
But eventually now everybody, you don't really see
You
nobody.
gotta
with the
adapt
buttons.
or die.
Exactly. Right.
Like,
Right
yeah.
now you see AI.
Yeah.
GPT. Right. We could keep saying. You could keep saying. Eventually you're gonna have to adapt.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing in pretty much all these different industries. Same thing happened in Airbnb. It's very well alive. It's just the way to do it has changed. So you can still make a lot of money to this day. Great money. I have a lot of students that make, man, I got students that made over $1 million, bro.
Wow.
I got too many students. I just sent out I sent out 3 awards 2 days ago. 2 people for making $100,000 and another person for making $250,000, bro. So they're making money.
Yeah.
And they still working their jobs.
No,
takes us less than 10 minutes a day to run our business. I always tell my students, if it takes you more than 20 minutes a day to do this, you're doing it wrong. It don't take no time to do it, bro. You got apps, bro. We automate everything. So
what kind of apps? Like, I don't want to get into that.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of apps do you be able to use to actually automate the experience?
Sure, for sure. So if you get an Airbnb, right? For me, y'all, say lazy money. Everybody say lazy money, right? I like to make money, but I don't want it to take a lot of my time and energy. My goal is to have as much time for my family. I want to hang out. I want to be able to play video games with my son. Like, that's the goal, right? So I like to find ways to make money that's not going to take a lot of my time. So like some of the apps that you guys can use if you decide to do Airbnb is a smart lock. So one of the smart locks I use is called Yell by August, and basically it allows you to control your lock from anywhere in the world. So I was speaking at this event in Dubai about 2 years ago, and I was literally about to walk on stage, bro. And I had a guest that needed to get in Texas. I was able to go on my cell phone, go to the app, and say, hey, you're in front of the door? Okay, boom. I just opened it real quick. I'll set your codes in a few minutes. I'm about to go on stage and talk. I'm in Dubai.
Literally half across the world.
Yeah. A lot of people, they be like, oh, they think they have to do Airbnb in the city that they live in. You don't. You can do it anywhere. All you need is a smart lock, right? And you literally control it from an app in most cases. As long as it has remote access, that's it. You can look up any lock, y'all. You just want to make sure it has remote access, meaning that you can control the lock codes, the lock right from your cell phone. So that's one app. One of my favorite apps is Guesty. Right, Guesty is where I create all of my automations for my guests and for my cleaners. So when I have guests that, let's say they book my so right now we talking. If somebody books my Airbnb right now, I'm not going to stop this interview and be like, oh, let me give my guests access. So automatically you're going to get a message that says, hey, thank you for booking. Here's your next steps. It's going to automatically send them check-in instructions. All these things automatically happen that I preset inside of the Guesty app. So every time I get a guest that books, they get their check-in instructions, they get their check-out instructions. I even have a message that goes out to them a day after they check in, which makes it seem like I'm checking up on them. It's like, hey, just want to check in with you. I know you checked in last night. Want to make sure everything is well. If everything's okay, totally fine. If not, please, let us know how we can help you. And one of the best reviews I get all the time is like, man, he checked in on me. And I'm like, that's an automation. Yeah. Right? That's Guesty. You got Price Labs. Price Labs, if you like, oh, I don't know, how do I know what to charge? Let Price Labs do it. You put it on Price Labs, and it controls your pricing. It's going to look at all the other units, and based on what other people are charging, based on if there are events, if there anything special going on, if there's holidays, they're going to put prices up, put prices down. You can also set highs and lows. You can say, hey, I want you to control my pricing, but I don't want to charge anything less than $72 on Fridays and Saturdays. I don't want to charge anything less than $59 on Mondays, right? So you can set all that up. Like, we live in a world where apps, AI is running it. So these are like just a few that you can use. You can use Turno, y'all, if you want to get cleaners. Like, I'm literally giving y'all the game. Yeah. No, you can go to Turno, turno.com, turno.com, and you can automate your cleaners. You can find, so people are like, I don't know how I'm going to find cleaners. They have cleaners all, and they'll bid. So you'll list your Airbnb, and they'll come on there, and there'll be different cleaners say, hey, I'll do it for $70 every cleaning. Somebody else may say, I'll do it for $65. Somebody say, I may do it for $95. You read the reviews, you can interview them, and then you can select what's your cleaner. It
sounds like back in the day it was actually harder, but now because these apps and also these AI, it's a lot easier. It's easier than it's ever been.
It is. My guy, right? So there's something called co-hosting. I'm putting y'all on some game. Clock it, family.
Clock it.
I'm putting you as a game. Hey, there's something called co-hosting, if y'all don't know, where you don't have to use your credit, you don't have to use your money. You get paid to run other people's Airbnbs for them, right? Okay. So imagine I have an Airbnb, and I'm like, man, I'm busy. I don't want to deal with it. I can say, hey, I'll give you anywhere from 10 to 20% of my earnings if you do all the running for me. Now, you don't have to physically go there. You just, if you learn some of the automation stuff that I'm just teaching them right now, you can set up all the automations and literally run it from your home. So one of my guys, he went from having 0 Airbnbs to 40 Airbnbs that he co-hosts. And to this day, it's about 3.5 years later, he has never stepped foot in any one of those units. And he make money off of 40 Airbnbs that he runs for other people through automations and AI.
Crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah. So here's my thing. The reason I love Airbnb and the reason I continue to promote it is because it basically helps the kind of person that I was when I was looking for help. I know anybody. You could be a person just working a job. You could be a person just trying to figure life out. You could be a person struggling right now. You can get in this business. Because even with no credit, no money, you can start co-hosting today. As long as you learn how to run an Airbnb, there are people that will pay you and you can start making some money. You ain't gonna make 100% of the money. You're gonna make 10 to 20%, but you start taking that money and you go out and get your first Airbnbs. I know I got my cleaners, bro. My cleaners, I encourage my cleaners. They got Airbnbs now. They clean my apartment. But that's what I pay them to clean. That's what they took that money. They cleaning the units. They already know how the system works. And they went and got Airbnbs in the same building that we got it in. Bro, it's always about empowering people. And that's why I love this business, because it don't matter what your situation is. You could be a person that's like, you're doing good. You have a great job. You don't have a lot of time. You have a few dollars. You got $5,000, $7,000. You want to go get an Airbnb. Because it takes less than 20 minutes a day to run the business. Now you got an extra $2,000 coming in, $1,500 a month coming in, right? You go get 2, 3, 4 units. Now you got an extra $7,000, $8,000 a month coming in, right? It doesn't take any of your time. You could be that person that's struggling on your job. You're like, bro, like I think even a person that's like struggling to get by, that could put away a few $100s a month for a few months and just sacrifice. Say, you know what? I ain't gonna go out. I ain't gonna do all this stuff. I'm gonna just take a season where I sacrifice. They could save up enough money to go get their own Airbnb if they want to have. If they don't want to do the co-hosting route, right? Even right now, bro, international Airbnb, what people don't know about, I'm giving y'all so much game. And international, like in places like Tulum, they don't even check your credit. As long as you have the money, you in there, and all of the units come with furniture.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All the units come. So I say all that to say, there are so many ways for people who can do this. And this is why I don't get distracted by people saying Airbnb is dead. I let them talk, bro. I don't have time to entertain that because I see it working for so many people. I see how it changes so many people's lives because it's one of those businesses where a person can say, man, this is actually possible for me. There can be a person right now that's like literally like, I don't know how I'm going to pay rent next week. I want to share this story so bad. So, and they can figure it out.
Yeah. No,
and get started.
It's right
bro,
there.
I had this girl who came to a free event that I did. She showed up to the bowling alley with her kids. And we were all looking like, she got the kids at the bowling alley. And she said, I said something to her, one thing, and I told her, just rent out a room in your apartment, right, where she was living at. I didn't know that she she was living in a 5-bedroom house. Her boyfriend had left her with the kids. She was facing eviction, and she had 5 bedrooms. And when I told her that, she turned the other 4 bedrooms, right, into Airbnbs. I mean, she turned the 4 rooms into, because you can rent rooms on Airbnb.
Yeah, I got you.
So she was literally renting out the 4 rooms, started making money, and then she was crazy enough, which I love this, right? And most people won't do this because people are not willing to get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
She took all of her furniture out her bedroom for her and her kids and put it in the living room and rented out the last bedroom too. Started making $3,000-$4,000 a month. Now she got 3 Airbnbs. She went and got 2 more homes.
Now she can take that money to basically, get her own place after that and build off of that.
She got three homes and living in a nice apartment.
Look at that.
Person facing eviction.
Yeah.
Boyfriend left you and the kids, and now she figured it out. That's what I love about this business.
I can't think of any other profession that you can make money so quick. I don't think so.
Nah, it just makes so much. It's like, it's the odds are in your favor. Like, it's so many different things that I could say that'll prove. Because I'm a person that I like things that make sense, bro. I'm not in a convincing game. I believe whatever it is that you want for you, I want it for you too. If you are okay with your life, you good with staying where you are, and you like, I don't want more, I don't think Airbnbs, that's cool. If that's what you want for you, I want it for you too. If you like, I'm trying to figure this out, and you're willing to listen, you're receptive to something new, you're receptive to being coached, then I want that for you too, right? And what I like about Airbnb is that there are so many obvious things that make so much sense for a person to do it, right? Give you an example. with Airbnb, it's one of like the only businesses out there where you don't have to pay for any marketing. You don't have to be good at marketing.
Airbnb does it all for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to post, and you're not paying for any commercials. You're not paying for any ads. You're not on Times Square, 42nd Street under a billboard saying, "Hey, you need an Airbnb, book with JD." You don't have to be a content creator.
That rhymed though. That sounds good.
Hey, you need an Airbnb, book JD. Right? Like you guys have never seen me promote to book an Airbnb.
Yeah, facts,
I've never promoted that on my.
That is actually very true.
No, all I do now, I tell people I teach them.
That's it. You teach a game.
Yeah, but I've never posted, "Hey, y'all need an Airbnb," right? I don't have to, because guess what? I listed on Airbnb. They already have millions of people that say, "I trust Airbnb."
Mm-hmm.
So Airbnb will literally market you set it up nice. They will market your property for free to millions of people who say, "We want to rent a property from your unit." So I don't have to go and find guests to stay. But that's another thing people think. I don't got to go find guests. Airbnb does all the marketing for me. I don't pay any money. I don't have to be good at content. The only thing I have to be good at is putting furniture in that bad boy and setting it up, put my automations in place.
Yeah.
And the only time I get involved with Airbnb is when I get an alert saying, "You got a booking, they checking in." And now I'm like, all right, cool. Well, I'm about to get paid. It's nothing else. All my automations kick in. They're getting the check-in instructions. My cleaner is alerted that the unit got booked. They know when they have to clean. And all I do is just make sure if because humans are weird. Airbnb, humans are weird. They're going to ask dumb questions.
Yeah.
Hey, how do I check in?
And do dumb shit too.
Yeah, scroll up. Just scroll up. It's right there. Just scroll up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but besides that, bro, it's a pretty fun business, man. It's super dope. I always tell people, I tell my students, they think I be joking. I'm like, yo, yeah, you're going to get bored within the first 2 weeks. You're going to get bored. Bro, it's like, because here's what happens. You get an Airbnb, you excited, right? So the first 2 weeks, you checking every message.
Yeah.
You responding, oh, guess. And within 2 weeks, now you learn all your automations. You set up all of your messages to answer. Now you like, yeah, I really ain't got much to do.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna want another unit, because it's not hard. It's almost like you get it's a fun business. It's a boring process though, because it's like there's not that much you can do. This is why you can have an average person. My boy Fred, I think he has 10 or 11 Airbnbs right now. He's one of the guys that just made over $1 million. Well, he didn't just make over $1 million, but he's made over $1 million. He has 10 or 11 units. I don't remember exactly how much. He's an accountant. He also has a Turo business, and he also does taxes. How can a person make $1 million in a business, have over 10 units, still be an accountant, still run a Turo business, and still do taxes? This isn't obvious that there's systems in place that allows that to happen. He doesn't need a lot of time and energy to run Airbnb. So like I said, it's so many, like, bro, I can give you so many examples of how much this makes sense, which is why I get so passionate about teaching it, because I know for a fact I can take any person, regardless of your situation, as long as you're willing to put in the effort and put in some work and willing to learn the business, you can go from wherever the heck you are right now to wherever it is that you desire to be, do this business, because it's a very simple business. And now that you have all these Airbnb partner buildings, it takes off all the stress. But you will have to pay the building a percentage, and it is okay. Pay the building.
No, everybody
make your
eats.
money. You know what I'm saying?
I'm about to actually put you on to one of my friends actually in DC, because there's times like I'd be like hearing her and another friend when it comes to like these Airbnb horror stories, but like I don't think they don't have the automatizations like you have to be able to actually make that seamless.
I always ask them one question. I'm like, did you ever get coached? Most times they say no. Most times they say no, or they got coached by a guru that they didn't really.
They ain't know shit. They ain't know a damn thing.
They really know. They just kind of got in the right place, right time. People want to learn stuff online. They sounded good online, put a few words together, sent you a video or ebook. I mean, it is what it is. Like, I'm gonna keep people know. I'll keep it real. So, it is what it is. That's why my mentor always told me in life, you got to inspect what you expect. Right. So is when you go looking for a coach, you have to make sure that you finding the right coach. You got to find somebody that's not only qualified but is also capable.
Got you.
Right. Because a person could be qualified. I can come to you and say, hey, I make over $100,000 on Airbnb. I can teach you how to make $100,000. Now, I'm qualified to say that because I did it. It doesn't mean that I have the ability to teach you. I'm not capable.
Okay.
So just because I've made $100,000 doesn't mean I have the ability to say things in a way that you get it and say that you can go do it. So there's a lot of people that are qualified out there, and they use their qualifications. Hey, man, I made $3 million on Airbnb. Well, how many people have you helped make $100,000? How many people have you helped make $10,000?
So okay, you actually brought up a really good point when it comes to coaching, also mentorship. So what about the other side? What about you haven't made as much money, but you can also help other people make a bag as well too?
Yep.
Is that okay?
Yep. As long as you're not lying. See,
Gotcha.
I have people, right? So some people are like, man, I want to be a coach, but I haven't made any money. I said, but you got an Airbnb. Yeah, but I haven't. I said, but you know how to successfully get your first Airbnb in, let's say, a month, right? So I'm making this up, just kind of give you a story, right? So let's say a person went out and they successfully got their first Airbnb in 30 days. You are qualified to teach people how to successfully get their first Airbnb in 30 days. If you want to learn how to scale up your Airbnb business, I'm not that person. If you want to know how to make $100,000 in Airbnb, I'm not that person. But if you are a person working a job and you want to learn how to go from working a job to successfully launching your first Airbnb in 30 days, I'm going to teach you exactly what I did. And you just teach that. So as long as you are being true to what you have actually accomplished, then you can teach it. But once again, you have the qualifications.
Yeah.
Now you have to make sure that you work on the ability to teach that.
No, facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's all it is. So some people think, and that's the other thing, people are, well, how much money do you make? It's cool, you know. You got first 2 Airbnbs. I'm not teaching you how to make 100,000, bro. I may, and you can be honest. That's the other thing. Don't feel the need to lie. So if somebody may say, oh, but I didn't make a lot of money. Okay, say that. Listen, I've only made $17,000 in the last 6 months, but it has brought me in an extra few $100s a month that allowed me to do this. But I know how to start with no experience and get a building to say, yes, you can do this here. I can teach you how to do that. Or you can go pay Guru Guy $30,000.
Guru Guy is crazy.
Yeah. You can go pay Guru. I'm keeping it real. Like, so my thing is, for people out there, and this doesn't have to be Airbnb, right? So it could be in any business, right? As long as you have accomplished something, you're qualified to teach that, but you just make sure that you work on the ability that when people trust in you, whether it's with their money or, more important to me, their time, when they give their time to you, that you actually have the ability to teach them in a way that they are confident to go out there and make it happen. Yeah, so that's what makes me different. That's why I don't worry about I don't worry about other competition. I don't care who's doing Airbnb. Yeah. I believe that multiple people can exist in the same space and all be successful. I'm okay with that. I literally refer some people to some of my students who teach Airbnb. And I'll refer people to them. They're like, why would you do that? Because I'm okay. Yeah. Like whoever, like some people.
It's abundance, man. It's abundance.
That's all it is. My style. They're going to love my energy. And they want, that's cool. But there's going to be people that know, like, and trust you. You know what I'm saying? That it's okay. Yeah. Right? So,
and competition breeds excellence at the end of the day. So man, it is what it is.
It's super dope, man. It's dope. When people start just, when you change the way you look at things, the things that you look at change, bro. And that's, for me, my perspective on a lot of things is a lot different. So I don't get intimidated. I'm not like, I love to see people win. I don't care if you're in the same space, bro. I will literally root for you and I will support. You get what I'm saying? And I will collab. And that's one thing that I did that separated me from all these Airbnb coaches, which is why y'all coaches can't really touch your boy, right?
Talk your shit. I'm gonna tell
you why, because I'm the first person that I took everybody who was dominating in that area of short-term rentals, Airbnb, and I said, hey, let's work together. So I literally created the Avengers of the industry. So what I did was, I'm okay with not knowing how to do everything. I don't want to master international Airbnb. Yeah. But I know a girl who mastered it. And I said, hey, listen, I got all these people, but there's some of my people, they want to learn how to do it in the States. Some people want to know international. How about we partner? When people come to me, let's work out a deal. Give me the best price possible. I'm literally going to give you like free clients. Yeah. Anybody who wants to, like, if they join my program, I'm going to charge this price, but it's going to be enough money in there that if they say they want to learn international, I'll pass them over to you. We work as a team. I'll teach them the US base, but you'll also now focus on international. Then I'll work with a guy. I said, listen, I have people that they're going to want, they want to do Airbnb. They don't have money. They have decent credit. They don't know how to get access to funding. So how can we create some sort of partnership that when they're coming, you walk them through the funding process? Okay, cool. But I need you to give my students the best price possible. It's just common thing. Okay, cool. Listen, I got people who come in, they're scared to find units. So I partner with a company who their whole existence is to find people Airbnb. So now when they join my program, I set them up with this guy who has a whole company built around finding them Airbnbs. Then I find people who are furnished. Actually, my wife, she does like furnishing. So guess what? I say, hey, when you come in, I literally pay my wife to design every one of our students' units. So when they come in, I don't know how to design. No problem. We'll design that for you. Then I have somebody, I know they're going to need LLCs. So I say, hey, you do LLCs. How much you charge? Hey, what's the best price? If I'm giving you this amount, I'm going to bring you on average this amount of students, right? You don't have to market. You don't have to pay for it, whatever. Yeah. What's the best price you can give me? Okay, cool. So now when they join my program, I send them to, included is somebody who walks them to getting that LLC. Then guess what? I know that what's gonna put them in a better position is they look good on paper. So I have a partnership with somebody who creates logos for them and builds them a whole website. So when they go to a building and say, hey, I have an Airbnb business, and they say, hey, what's your website? They say, here it is. Boom. And it's professional. Boom. So what I did was, bro, instead of doing like everybody else and trying to, and I know y'all going, you can just partner with your boy, G. Yeah. And I got something coming out special that I'm gonna put y'all all on in the future. Give me the first 6 months. I got y'all. Yeah. But the whole point is, bro, I love collaborating with people. We don't have to compete, bro.
Collaborating is so powerful, bro. It's so powerful because like you'll be able to actually, upgrade your clientele, upgrade your money. You'll be able to, everybody wins at the end of the day. And also, too, you'll be able to actually vet out the people who you should collab with and not collab with as well, too. Bro, that's another thing.
I just had this conversation in the car, and I said, for me, the big thing for me is that a student who invests their money, they come in and say, bro, I really get value out of this program. This is one of the best programs I joined. So that is my thing is the experience that these people get. Like when they come in, we are big on like family. Yeah. The environment is different. They get whole teams of people that's working for them, but the people in there, they embody the whole family. Like, hey, what's up? We all, hey, what up, fam? What's up, family? Hey, what's up, family? Right? Everybody, like the environment is different. So when people are joining, they really get true value. They're like, yo, bro, we don't even need JD, man. We got access to his team. We got people I got people that's in there running the community. I found a girl, I'm like, man, you good with people. Hey, I'll pay you to run the community. Like, I just want people to have a good experience. I want when they join, they know, what to do, where to go. They know how to connect. They know. So, but my whole thing is to make a person, when they spend their money, they're like, even if they don't get an Airbnb in the first 6 months, they're like, man, I'm learning so much. I'm getting so much. The value is here. I just have to go and execute. I know for a fact that it ain't me. It's that you just got to execute. And that's okay if it takes you a little bit longer. But I know their experience. When people join my program, their experience is a lot different. And that's because I'm okay with it. I don't have to be I'm the person out there. I'm the face, but I don't need the recognition, bro. I'm okay. Like, no, this person is better at that. Let them, we're going to have this person walk you through that part of the process, bro.
Yeah, that's powerful.
I teach the rental arbitrage method that I have mastered. I'll let you teach international. I'll let you teach homes. I'll let you go find properties. I'll let you teach that. Whatever you good at, let's partner up, bro. Yeah. And it's cool. And it's everybody happy. Everybody make money. Everybody, and we all have them. But it's important to me that we all have the same, desire to really help people. That's the one thing, bro. That's the non-negotiable. If you just seem like you out here for money, I don't care what you bring to the table. I'm not with it.
Yeah, facts. What's one of the hidden gems or hidden locations throughout the United States that a lot of people don't necessarily know about that's really, really profitable in the Airbnb arbitrage
My favorite space, Nashville, Tennessee. Okay. Honky Tonk Town. Party City. Okay. Yo, it's the second Vegas, man. I mean,
it gets activated over there.
My God, bro. It is like, bro, 10 o'clock in the morning, the girls got on the cowboy boots, the short skirts and the cowboy hats, and you ever heard of Hunky Tonkin?
Yeah.
They going hunky tonkin. They hitting that Broadway strip. They going to get beers and they got the all of the country music playing. They got all the rooftops and all the windows open. Yeah. And they going in bar hopping, just drinking. They got the street shut off. Yeah. So it is the capital of bachelorette parties. It is the capital of party buses. It is
more than Vegas. More than Vegas.
It is the capital. Look it up. Bachelor parties, party buses. It's called Music City, Honky Tonk Town. Bro, they got the Country Music Awards is there. And if you're in the downtown area, bro, everything is right there.
Yeah.
Everything is right there. So, bro, Nashville is now. Here's the thing that'll scare people. They'll look at the rent and be like, "Oh, I'm not gonna do it there." Cool. It's not about, in life, it's not about what something costs. It's about what it's worth. See, you focus on, oh, but the rent is $3,000. Okay, cool. But if you bring back 5,500, you still up 25.
Still 25.
Oh, but I could, this over here, rent is 1,200. Okay, but if you bring back
over there?
1,500, you're getting 300 at the end of the day, right? So you got to understand that, right? It's not about what something costs. I don't care if it's a studio apartment that costs $10,000 and I run the numbers and I can see based on history that this building is bringing me back an extra $7,000. I will pay $10,000 a month for the studio because I just understand what it's bringing back, bro. As long as you're able, that's why I teach my students how to figure out the profits, how much profit they're going to make before they fill out the application to a building, so they're not taking risk, right? You know approximately about how much money you're going to make. And plus, there's apps. Y'all want some more game? You can go to AirDNA, right? You can go to MashVisor, and they will literally tell you on average how much money people are charging per night in this area for Airbnb, whatever area you search. And they will also tell you on average how many nights per month units are being booked in a certain area. So if you take how many nights per month they're being booked and how much money they're charging per night and you multiply them by each other, you know approximately how much money you're going to make. There's no excuses. This is probably one of the easiest things a person can do.
Is there any? Wow, that's my brain. Okay. Is there any spaces or any not opportunities? What's the word I'm looking for? Is there any chances that of you not necessarily making money throughout the month and you still got to pay that bill?
Yes.
Like that does happen, right?
Absolutely.
So is that a reflection on the Airbnb because they're responsible for the marketing, or is that a reflection on you?
It's a reflection on you because Airbnb is pretty much going to promote your unit based on what you're doing. So here's an example, right? Airbnb really pushes people to be super hosts, right? But in order to be a super host, there's certain things that you have to do and there's certain things that you can't do. So let me give you one example, right? Airbnb looks like you don't cancel a reservation on a guest. If a guest books and you cancel, they're like, yo, we're not, why would we send people to book your property? Why would we promote your property if you cancel? Right? So now people are like, oh, but I'm not making any money. What do you, I had to cancel 2 guests. Why would they send somebody there?
Yeah, facts.
If you have bad reviews about your unit being dirty and it's not being properly cleaned, why would they knowingly say, hey, go? They're going to send people, they're going to send the most of their guests to the hosts that have great reviews, that don't cancel, that has a good response rate. If guests are constantly calling Airbnb and say, hey, I've been trying to reach out to the host, I've been writing them for our check-in instructions for the last day, we haven't heard anything, why would they send somebody?
Yeah, facts.
So if you know all the reasons why they won't promote your unit, then you can just get good at those things and then they will. Like literally, Airbnb wants to make money. They only make money if you get booked. Airbnb wants you to get booked, but they're gonna push people to places where they're gonna want to go ahead and book on Airbnb again, not places where they're gonna go and say, you know what, we're gonna go to Verbo. We're gonna go for, you know what, I'm just gonna stay in the hotels now, right? So when people say, oh, but I'm not making, you're not making, it's a reflection. Now, here's the thing, it could also be your furniture. Right, this is not Airbnb from 2014 where you can just put a bed and a TV. People are getting coached. My students know how to furnish. Like they have very nice places. So you're not just like a person that you might like. The traveler is a lot different today. You know what I'm saying? These travelers are young, they're hip. I always say you want to have your units looking Instagrammable. If somebody don't walk in and be like, "Oh my God, look at this,"
if they don't pull out their phone immediately, you're doing something wrong.
If they don't walk into the unit and y'all walk in and they say, "Oh, everybody take your suitcase back out. I got to do the tour." If they ain't doing a tour in your unit, it ain't it. You know what I'm saying?
I got
but you have people like, well, but I like, it ain't about what you like. It's about what your
it's the market. It's the market.
Yes. People are traveling. They want to post on social media. They want to do a TikTok. They need that type of vibe in there, right? So if you have just a plain unit with a bed, a TV, and a coffee table, it's cool. You may get some people that just want to save some money, but you ain't gonna make the big bucks.
Just being able to over deliver, man. I mean, and that's honestly me coming from a hospitality, space. That's literally the essence of everything. You know what I'm saying? Like just literally, like for the amount of money, just say you're getting $100, see if you can actually 5 or maybe even 10x that value from then always come back, if that makes sense.
For a fact, bro.
You know?
For a fact.
Yeah. Unreasonable, shout outs to Will Guidera, unreasonable hospitality. And I think also for what you were just saying, just to add on to that, it's all about speed. Speed is success, bro. How fast can you do things at the end of the day?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can respond back to a person who's about to book your Airbnb, if your response time on average is a day, hey, can you get there in 12 hours? Hey, can you get there maybe in 10? Maybe even within an hour. Like, challenge yourself to be able to over-deliver every single time.
But
But
that's exactly why. That's how I know who don't have coaching out, because if you respond in a day, sometimes it could be as simple as setting up an automation. Sometimes it's like, make automations for what you can, right? And then some things you can't predict, right? Like, hey, man, the heat is not working. You don't know. You can't have an automation for that because you don't know that the heat's gonna stop working.
Yeah.
So you want to be available. You want to pay attention to that. You want to be able to, have your alert on. That's for me. Like, the one thing I have my alerts on is my Airbnb. So if I see Airbnb, if I'm starting to get several messages, I know there has to be something else that a automation is not taking care of that I have to pay attention. So now let me go in and read this message, right? Because I want me to get a message. Like, literally the entire process. I have guests that literally we never, like, they check in and they check out and we never have a conversation because all the automations. So if I see something happen, I'm like, oh, must be something going on. Let me check real quick, right? That's all Airbnb is. It's just being able to, it's being able to communicate with people. And that's it, bro. If you can answer a few questions, make sure you are responding at a good enough pace, and make sure that you remaining professional, then you're good. You're going to make some good money. Yeah,
definitely. So this has been fire, man. I appreciate you, bro. This has been definitely great. So a couple more questions before we actually wrap up. Real quick, what is your gauge on when a client for your Airbnb space wants to get a refund, but it's not necessarily justifiable? Like, what do? Do you what's the barometer when it comes to, like, it's like, you know what, I'll give you the refund versus like, no, this is not what it is. Like, do you understand what I'm trying to ask?
Like, so, I mean, it really, like, so first of all, you got to have systems in place. So for me, I just go based on a system. And then also, you also don't lose the human touch, right? So for me, here's just to give you an example, right? We have our cleaners. Every single time they go to clean a unit, before they clean anything, they take a video of how the unit looks, like basically how the last guest left it. So everything, don't pick up nothing, don't move nothing. And then they clean it, and after they clean it, they take another video of what the unit looks like after that, right? So now if a guest comes in and say, hey, the bed was broke or the unit was dirty or whatever happened, right? They can say that, but I can go and look at the video and say, oh, no, the unit wasn't dirty, right? So now they say, I'm requesting a refund, because these, the guests are clever. They try to get refunds. They try to get free stays, all kind of stuff. Yeah. So as long as you have things in place where it's like, hey, it doesn't warrant what you're asking, then we won't give a refund. Yeah. But if it does warrant, like if I look and I'm like, oh shoot, the bed was broke, then I'm gonna give a refund. Got it. Right. But
that's what you gauge from.
Yeah. Okay. But then also, like, for instance, we'll have people that's like, oh, it's I gotta cancel. It's like the day before. Now for them, I'm like, listen, well, we're gonna have to go with our cancellation policy, because now you are, because you have those dates blocked, I can't get it rebooked. Yeah. So now we have to enforce the cancellation policy. So in Airbnb, they allow you to have, like, you can do like moderate, you can do it easy to where it's like, hey, they can cancel at any time. You can do it to where, like, I have it to where as long as you cancel before 5 days, I'll give you a full refund. 5 days give me enough time to rebook it. Got you. But anything within that 5 days, no, we're gonna, that's the cancellation policy. You don't get a refund, or you may get a partial refund. Yeah. So, you may have some situations, sometimes you can kind of sense that people are like lying, but just gauge it, because there's some times where people canceling within, the time frame, but based on what they're saying, I'm like, yeah, I think I kind of believe them. And I'm gonna be a human. I'm like, listen, no worries. We'll go ahead and give you a refund. You get what I'm saying? When you're getting, when you have, and I think another thing with that is, I always tell people, if you really want to make great money, right, you want to scale up fast. Remember that, scale up fast. You want to get as many units as you can, as fast as you can. Because when you have multiple units, if you get one cancellation, you're not stressing. Yeah, you're not. But if you have one unit and they're like cancel, but you're like, all hell breaks loose. And now you don't want to be a human. Like, you don't want to listen because you're like, oh, what? I need this money. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, for me, you know, and I'll tell anybody out there, man, Airbnb is good. It's a great business, but one Airbnb is not going to change your life. Will it add value? Of course. You know, even if you had bring an extra $800 and you could pay some credit cards, yes, that's great. But when you start getting to the 3 units, the 4 units, the 5 units, and you start bringing in the $4,000, the $5,000, the $12,000 a month, that's when it really starts to become life-changing, okay? So, you know, if you want to get to a place where it's like you're not really like being like held captive to like giving people refunds and stuff, I don't really get like person get it. I'm probably the easiest person to get a refund. I get a refund. I don't care, bro. I got several units. They're all working. I'm getting books. I'm pretty much booked every day for all of my units. So it's not gonna hurt me, right? It's not gonna me giving somebody a refund is not gonna hurt me. Now I'm not gonna like if I sense some BS is taking place, I ain't gonna refund.
Yeah, facts.
But if it's something that seems like, you know, okay, cool, let's, you know, I think this is valid. Let's give them a refund. You get what I'm saying? So. But you'll be able to gauge it once you get into the business. You'll start seeing it, and you'll start you'll be able to sense like the people that just really understands. Because in anything, there's always somebody that knows how to like kind of beat the system. And there's a lot of people on a lot of guests on Airbnb. They know how to get refunds. They know how to get free stays and do a bunch of stuff to like, you know, just really get the most. You know, everybody's intentions ain't always good. So I've had some weird guests, bro. I had guests that planted a bunch of like stuff around the unit and said it was us, and it wasn't. Like put like tissue behind the couch pillows. Okay. Put cigarettes butts on the floor. Took the bed trays and put it on the floor. Said the bed was stained when it wasn't. So we had a bunch of weird guests too. But like I said, because of our system in place, we can always just look at the video and say, "Yeah, that's not true." Yeah. Right? So that's
never have them book your stuff ever again.
Yeah, facts. You know, it's a lot of things you can do. But like I said, once you and that's always going to tell, I can always tell the difference between the person who got coaching and the person who didn't get coaching because, like I said, like once you get coaching, you know to put these certain things in place to protect yourself, right?
Gotcha, bro.
You can always tell people like, you know, when they say certain things happen, so I'm like, yeah, you ain't never getting any coaching. Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
definitely, man. Well, listen, man, when it comes to coaching, man, in the Airbnb arbitrage space, obviously you're the guy, and I really, really appreciate, you know, this conversation, man, and given the super game when it comes to, you know, this or whatever. So let's talk about what you got going on, you know, in the future, you know, and what else you got planned?
Yeah, man. So I right now, you know, I remember getting to a point where, you know, because I have all these different high level mentorships so people can join, and I remember there was a few people that really wanted to learn Airbnb, but they couldn't afford that price of the full program. And so I was just thinking, like, what could I do to where I can add the value and still respect my time at the same time? And so I came up with this idea to do these 5-day mentorships. And I said, you know, at first I said, I'll just charge a small fee, and now they get to spend 5 days with me, and I'll just teach them everything that I possibly can within 5 days. Whatever I can get, I get out. Whatever I can't, I can't. But I'll just literally give them everything that I got. And recently, bro, I just decided to just let them come for free, bro. So now what I do is I do free 5-day mentorship. So if you want to, you know, and the thing is this, right? When you come to the 5-day mentorship, it's just for you to see after the 5 days, based on everything you learned, is this something that I want to put my time and energy to, or is it not? If you come for 5 days and it's on Zoom, you come for 5 days, and at the end of it, you say, I don't think this is for me. That's a win because now you didn't go invest thousands of dollars into a mentorship, thousands of dollars into an apartment, thousands of dollars into a furniture, all to say, oh, you know what, I don't really like this business. But over 5 days, you're going to know by the end of those 5 days, if you want to put some more energy and time into it, I'm going to teach you